Hello everyone, welcome back to Fight Tonight channel. Gervonta perfect opponent for Shakur. Shawn Porter calls for the fight to happen. Former two-time welterweight world champion Shawn Porter recently ran riot in the boxing world. With his inciting comment, he declared that rising star Shakur Stevenson is ready to challenge the fearless world champion Gervonta Davis. Porter bluntly stated Gervonta is the perfect opponent for Shakur and argued for the fight to transpire. A WBO Intercontinental Light Welter champ himself, Porter presumably knows a thing or two about striking the right match. However, his cherished fans are undoubtedly pondering whether the young Stevenson is fully prepared for the unstoppable Davis. Stevenson, a New York-born pugilist with an unbesmirched record, is considered one of the sport's fastest rising stars. His tactical defense, bolstered by his fast, accurate hits, has earned him the respect of boxing. Despite Stevenson's commendable skills, Davis is in a league of his own. Davis, affectionately known as Tank, has risen to prominence as a knockout artist with an unbeaten record and boasting a 95.8% knockout-to-win ratio. The Baltimore boxer has often been labeled as the Mike Tyson of the lower weight class. With his raw power and aggressive style, Davis represents a serious test for any opponent. Porter, however, is unwavering in his belief that Stevenson is ready for this mammoth challenge. He shared his thought process in an exclusive interview with the Boxing Insider. Upon asked why he believes Stevenson is prepared, Porter said, "Every fighter needs a breakout moment, a fight that truly establishes them. For Shakur, that moment could be a showdown with Gervonta." He further explained that Stevenson's escalating boxing intellect and physical capabilities could play a pivotal role against Davis. Porter states, "Not every fight is won on strength alone. Shakur has the strategic mindset and the speed to counter Gervonta's power. The ring is not solely about beastly punches, it's also about impeccable defense and agility." Shakur responded to Porter's call-out on social media in a manner that can only be seen as sheer enthusiasm by tweeting, "I'm ready for Gervonta Tank Davis." Stevenson has made clear he is ready for the potential career-defining fight. But what about Gervonta Davis? Despite the clear potential for a robot-throwing slugfest, Davis is yet to respond. Regardless, Porter's comments have stirred up fascinating discussions among boxing enthusiasts about a potential battle royale between the two of boxing's brightest stars. A clash between the tactically proficient Stevenson and the powerhouse Davis will be a thrilling prospect. Davis brings brute power and an impressive fight IQ, whereas Stevenson could counter with cunning play and swift movements. If this duel comes to fruition, it could have a profound impact on these boxers' career trajectories. According to experts, Stevenson's still maturing career and Davis' established record make the fight a bit of a gamble. However, Porter, a man who shared the ring with some of the sport's best, firmly believes that a matchup with Davis is the ideal next step for Shakur Stevenson to elevate his status to a world-class level. A matchup between Stevenson and Davis is undoubtedly an attractive proposition for the stakeholders involved. Both fighters would get an opportunity to showcase their skills on a global platform. A victory would solidify the winner's position in the boxing history. It looks like Shawn Porter's words have whetted the appetite of this tantalizing showdown. Will Porter's prediction come true? Will Shakur Stevenson take the step up to face Gervonta Davis? While speculation continues to surge in the boxing arena, only time will serve as a telling referee for this potential face-off. WBC orders Shakur Stevenson vs. William Zepeda. The WBC has ordered a fight between lightweight champion Shakur Stevenson and #1 ranked William Zepeda next. Interestingly, Zepeda's promoter Oscar de la Hoya quickly reacted to the WBC's order, saying that Zepeda has 4 sanctioning bodies to choose from, which fans believe is classic code talk. Shakur responded to de la Hoya's comment by posting crying emojis. That's a fight that Stevenson had wanted, but it doesn't look like it's going to happen. De La Hoya had recently said that wanted Zepeda to challenge WBO lightweight champion for his title, and he wasn't playing around. That's the easy mark. Golden Boy power play. It's not a big shock that De La Hoya is already throwing cold water on a fight between Shakur and William Zepeda, because Oscar recently said on social media that he won't make that fight between them unless Stevenson were signed with Golden Boy. De La Hoya said it was coming from Zepeda, who wanted that. It's unclear why it would matter to Zepeda, but it should not matter if Shakur is signed with Golden Boy or not. Matchroom promoter Eddie Hearn needs to take this latest news about De La Hoya not wanting the Stevenson fight for Shakur into account when he decides whether to sign the WBC champion. It's possible that Eddie Hearn could wrangle a deal with De La Hoya if he offered up one of his popular fighters to face a Golden Boy guy in exchange. Hearn has a deep stable of fighters, and someone might be interested in De La Hoya letting him wet his bag on a fight that he otherwise wouldn't get. Unfortunately, without a deal worked out, Zepeda is one less fight than Hearn has for Shakur if he signs him to his company, and he is not going to be happy fighting his Matchroom fighters. Hank Cruz, Liam Praro, Regis Prograis, Jack Catterall, Sabriel Matias, Richardson Hitchens, Jaron Ennis. If Hearn signs Shakur, those are the only fighters he can 100% guarantee for him, and he won't be excited about fighting them. The other guys like Gervonta and Zepeda are the ones he can try to make, but without His Excellency stepping in to help, Eddie Hearn doesn't stand a chance. Floyd Mayweather lures Shakur Stevenson with the promise of Gervonta Davis fight. Shakur is a free agent now, as his contract with the Top Rank ended with his July 6th fight against Tom Haratunian. Every top promoter has now his eyes on WBC lightweight champ. In addition, the Top Rank's $15 million offer, which Stevenson declined, Oscar De La Hoya and Eddie Hearn are also eager to sign the newer native to their respective stables. Nonetheless, according to an insider, Stevenson might have a name in mind about who he wanted to collaborate with. There has been a lot of chatter about who Stevenson will choose as his promoter, and there are rumors that Floyd Mayweather Jr. may win the race to sign the young boxer soon. According to social media, Floyd may just have the perfect bite for Shakur. Shakur Stevenson's chance to possibly fight Gervonta Davis. Boxing insider and YouTuber began unveiling the rumor by first dismissing the claim that Shakur Stevenson had brought in Floyd Mayweather as his official advisor, and that the 5-division champ was advising Stevenson to fight the likes of Ryan Garcia. Dispelling the notion, the host of Blue Blood Sports said, "Well, this is not true, people. This is not true. He has an advisor and he has a manager in the form. But does he look at Floyd Mayweather for advice? Absolutely." The Boxing Insider added, "But now I'll tell you what. Floyd Mayweather has a deal on the table that he is offering Shakur, I can tell you that. It's a multi-fight deal that's going to guarantee Shakur gets a fight with Gervonta at some point in time." The New York-based boxer has long been anticipating a clash against Gervonta Davis. If these rumors really turn out to be true, fans will be thrilled to witness this match-awaited showdown. Thanks for watching, guys. If you like this video, please subscribe to my YouTube channel.